Okay. Phylicia Ayers Allen, a.k.a. Claire Huxtable, for you guys that don't know, for you young heads, let me go ahead and put this up here for y'all to see for your viewing pleasures here. This is the woman that we're going to talk about here. We have to give you the backstory so you guys can have a full circle completion. There's a lot of young guys that watch us that don't know who this woman is on my thumbnail. Her name is Phylicia Rashad. Her original name was Phylicia Ayers Allen, who is the sister of Debbie Allen, renowned dancer, and so forth and so on. I gave her a ride to the airport one time. And Phylicia married Ahmad Rashad, who was a football player for the Minnesota Vikings. He ended up being a sport broadcaster, more famous, a sports broadcaster, and then became Phylicia Rashad, all right? But she also was known as Claire Huxtable on the TV show The Cosby Show, with, of course, Bill Cosby, who played Heathcliff Huxtable. All right, so Phylicia Rashad has been always known as a classy woman. All right, very classy woman, but also a progressive woman. So she kind of teetered between progressive career woman on the TV show, The Cosby Show, and also kind of a feminine woman. She had bouts of femininity, bouts of sassiness, bouts of being smart and intelligent, but also she never was really a thought. Okay, she always represented herself well, and she very looked good, especially for a black chocolated woman. Okay, she played a black chocolated woman that you rarely saw on television, and she nailed the role well because Phylicia Rashad most likely was that. Okay, Phylicia Rashad was this. So this goes back to the 80s. Okay, goes back to the 80s, and this is who she was. A beautiful woman, inside and outside. The way she carried herself, her demeanor, even in character, was kind of what you wanted to be. And it was one of these sexy images that you was able to see her sexiness without her revealing her body. You know what I mean? Without her revealing, not taking the shortcut. You know, let me see here. Let me see if I can find some other pictures of this beautiful woman, man. Beautiful woman. And she's aged beautifully. She definitely has good genetics, and I don't think she has a lot of surgery. She's probably got nipped and tucked here and there. She ain't thick. She ain't fat. She ain't obese. She's not shaking her ass. You know, she's done a couple of dance scenes, but she's a very beautiful woman, man. No bonnet. She represents herself well. So she's also a theatrically trained actress or actor. Now they call it for females. So she's always represented this classy image, and she's always been graceful and polite and not loud and not telling us her political opinion. One of the real the last classiest ladies of the African-American community. Since then, it's been somewhat downhill. Okay. And her relationship with Bill Cosby, you know, she might have known what he was doing or his lifestyle, and she protected him. She didn't call him out. You know, she wasn't trying to ruin her payday. But that's Phylicia Rashad for people who don't know. I just had to show that because you don't really see women like this anymore. Okay, you don't see women like this anymore. Just clothed head to toe, acting like a lady. And you know, the funny thing is, she was in her 30s. Right? She was in her 30s and 40s during this show. Right? This is what a 30 and 40-year-old woman presented herself as, just on a TV show. This is just a TV show. All right, before the New World Order came in with their communist propaganda and shit like this of the strong and independent woman, although she did play a lawyer. But she was also a housewife. Well, she wasn't a housewife. She also was a mother and a lawyer. Let me just show you this. This is her in a dance scene, in an aerobic dance scene during the show. And as you can see, she's wearing a leotard with tights. All right. Today, the leotard would be without the tights. This is how the things were in the 80s and 90s, where most women would wear attire like this, but it wouldn't be completely ass out, titties out. As you can see, this is a full leotard, and titties are and ass and pussy is not out. Her feet are probably out, but there it is right there. All right, but and she's natural. People are mentioning she doesn't have a hair weave. She probably has a hair piece in there. I would think she would probably have a hair piece. Okay, but this is Phylicia Rashad now, aging gracefully, right? Not too much plastic surgery. How old is this woman now? I had to set this up. All right, how old is this woman now? She still acts. She's 76 years old now. Okay, that's pretty phenomenal. 76 years old. And the reason why this is important is because the conversation has come up here related to her opinion on fashion today for women. Now, this is going to be on the Breakfast Club. And unfortunately, the Breakfast Club does do a lot of copywriting. Okay, so I have to be careful what I can play on their TV show. But she says social media is buzzing after Phylicia Rashad expressed her views on how young women dress. Okay, let's see if people support this message. Okay, so here we go right here. Let me go ahead and refresh the screen. Oh, hold on for a second. Here we go right here.
I'm up in the era, Miss Rashad, where dignity and grace were everything. So do you ever look at how wild Hollywood is now and you just think to yourself, boy, y'all got it easy. Y'all wouldn't have got away with that in my day.
No, you'd have to look at Hollywood. I could look at the way young ladies dress.
I knew I should have worn some other pants.
You got your ass
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
elbow, shoulder over here. I see. You want my coat?
The young ladies are so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And something has happened in popular culture. And I don't mean to be critical, and I hope young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. But you're young queens. I'm taken aback when I see on a college campus.
You came up in the era.
Young women dressed in strips of clothing. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that. Right?
No, I grew up on Method Man saying, wearing 3/4 of cloth, never showing your stuff off. Boo. That's what he said.
That's right.
But not only that, it's like there's today's designers. I mean, there's ways. There are other things, and I just
leave something to the imagination.
Yeah,
it would be nice.
Some things are for my eyes only.
Yep, and like you said, there are ways of being sexy without showing so much.
Oh, please. And that's really not sexy.
I mean, one of the most sexiest, most beautiful pictures is you. I forgot what year it was, but you got on like a basketball jersey and like some jeans. You eating some popcorn. That's an iconic picture.
Is it the white jersey?
Yes.
That was that we did.
That is a
campus young women.
Beautiful picture. That's that is the epitome of sexy.
Okay, I have to be careful sharing the Breakfast Club's content. Although that's an Instagram post, they do snipe audio and stuff like that. So let's just go back. Again, I come from an era that's different than the modern era. Although we had women that dressed like this was kind of like, those women did get rewarded and they got to dance in videos, JJ Fad and Oaktown 357 in biker shorts and shit like this. There were women that dressed like this, but this wasn't the norm. Similar to gangster culture wasn't the norm going into the 1990s, right? Guys didn't dress like thugs all the time. There were guys that dressed like thugs, but not every guy dressed like a thug, all right? But today, most guys dress like thugs. Like, now, you're not going to say it's not a thug. You're dressing like hip-hop. But let's just be frank. That's thuggish attire, right? It's gangsta. And it basically came from the gangster lifestyle. Like, not many people were wearing Pendleton jackets and basketball jerseys. That's what gangsters wore. And that became the attire of most men. Just like whore attire was always prevalent. Hot pants and shit like this. And what do they call them? I can't remember it. But yes, women wore that back in the day. And they certainly were, okay, those are the whores, right? And these are supposedly the classy ladies. Now, as she said, the designers, the people selling women clothes. I talked about that earlier with Slim Thug conversation. Those women, now it is the common attire to the point that women think strippers are copying them. I tell you that story all the time. Oh, the strippers are wearing what we're wearing. No, you're wearing what the strippers are wearing. You just didn't realize it until now that it's common. And let's not address this. Men have given attention to these type of women, just like women have given attention to the bad boys and the thugs. So it's not just the woman's fault. The men have played into this as well. The more women revealed, the more likely a man would pay attention to her. Thus, the women seeing this are saying, well, in order to get the man's attention, we must reveal more. The less they wore, the more benefit they got. We can see this on Instagram. As much as we complain, still when these women post, men show up. Now, it might not be all of us, but they're still getting the attention. So what benefit does it have for a guy, for a woman, to not do this, to not capitalize on this marketplace, to not get $1,000 a month from OnlyFans? You see it as a fail, but for her, that's $1,000 a month to post 4 pictures. Okay, what's the benefit? She ain't getting wifed up. You're not wifing her up. What's the loss? What's the loss to her? She's like, hey, my reputation. But hey, we're all losing our reputation at this point. So yeah, we got hoochies. We got women out here playing coochie games. We got all of this stuff. So you're seeing women get no benefit from being classy, being more, desirable in their feminine. Okay. But of course, the industry has played a part in this with the promotion of female rappers, making female rappers become strippers. Even the World Wrestling Federation went through that point of, hey, who cares about women's wrestling? Let's get the most sexiest women out there to wrestle. And then those women got more attention as opposed to the women who can actually wrestle. So this is where we're at right now, which is the tough conversation. Why would women actually want to be like Claire Huxtable? Why would they want to be like Phylicia Rashad? What would the benefit be? I ask you. Let's look at the comment sections here and let's see what we got. Let's talk about some articles here. Some people have expressed discontent with the way Rashad has slammed young women. This is the point that I've been saying. It's going to be hard to come back from this because if Phylicia Rashad can't save these 304's and can't get them in line, well, neither can you. One user reminded commenters that Rashad also defended Bill Cosby, so I would tread lightly. The narrative of women centering their decisions around men's approval is so tiring. That's why I'm glad the new generation is moving away from it. Okay, so let's just start from that one. Let's start from that one. We have to stop with this bullshit. Men and women have to stop with this bullshit. This idea that women are not doing this for sexual attention or to benefit from a sexual marketplace. They're only doing it for them.
The Money Mindset 2025. Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back to where it needs to be. This is the Blue Chip Mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects, cryptocurrency, investment, money 101, money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, we give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation. What are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the Money Mindset link. Let's get our blue chip mindset on. The window is still open.
Sales is basically coping. All right. And I blame men for this too. Men do this as well. All right. I don't dress for women because when I say all men pay and I say, did you buy cologne? Did you buy a Gucci belt? Did you buy nice shoes? Well, I didn't do it for women. I did it for myself. Lies. Lies. Because if you got no women's attention, your ass wouldn't have got dressed this morning. Your ass wouldn't have went to the barber and got lined up. You wouldn't have put just for men in your beard. So let's stop with the bullshit. Ladies, let's stop with the cap. I don't put makeup on for men. I put makeup on for myself. Stop the bullshit. Okay, so this is where we're just not being honest with ourselves. I don't get dressed for men's attention. I don't center myself around getting dressed for men's attention. This is bullshit. This is BS. When men say it, it's BS when women say it. We all have a desire to be appreciated by how we present ourselves. This is why when we present ourselves in a way, it's so important. We express ourselves by what we wear, and we want other people to see it. We're communicating something to someone every time we get dressed. Every time. Whether you are a guy who is a emo, a rocker, a thug, you want to look intimidating, you want to look hip, you want to look like you with the modern times. Every single time you get dressed, you're expressing yourself for someone to have a response. You're trying to provoke a response from someone. You're trying to demonstrate your tattoos or whatever. You're trying to show off something. That's the reason you dressed in the way you dressed. So this person's taking it. We have to get out of the idea that we're centering men the way we dress. Shut the fuck up. Let's be mature. Well, I won't say it, but let's let The Rock say it.
Shut your bitch ass up.
All right, so most people, and then when people have the idea, I dress poor so people don't think I have money, you literally are dressing a certain way to communicate something. Even when rich people, billionaires, wear, New Balance shoes and Nike Air Monarchs, they're communicating a message. Hey, I don't have nothing, or I'm a billionaire, I'm so wealthy that I don't need fashion labels. Or you wear fashion labels to demonstrate and communicate something. So when people say this idea that people aren't dressing for other people, it's an absolute farce. It's cope to get away with the responsibility of you dressing a certain way. Let's just take accountability for your behavior. Let's understand why you're doing it and accept it so we can now have a common conversation. So that's one dissenting opinion related to her. Here's another one. Oh, by the way, her supporting and defending Bill Cosby is the fact that Bill Cosby, whether you like it or not, had a whole bunch of volunteers. All right. So Bill Cosby certainly was red-rolled. I think he definitely did participate in spiking women's drinks or giving them pills to take advantage of them. I definitely think that. And I think that men continue to do this today. All right. But they're not doing it with the exact same drug that he was using. They're doing it with Molly's and all kind of crazy shit like this. All right. So it's not different than anything that we're doing today. Although in the yesteryear, it was somewhat expected. But now people are saying she should have known about it and spoke up against it. All right. So that's your own personal opinion. Let's go down to the next one. Another pointed out that the age gap between baby boomers like Rashad and Gen Z has led to a disconnect in fashion trends, and that clothing items don't seem to change how women are treated in the community. That generation was covered up and still got abused and treated terribly. One day, as a community, we're going to address the real issues, but I digress. Okay, so the issue that they have here, which is a common issue that you hear, well, the older women dress classy and they still got cheated on. Okay, the older women dress classy and got cheated on. The older women were more classy women and kept away from cheating on their husband or penalized for cheating on their husband, and they got beat down like Tina Turner. They were still abused. All right, so we have the abuse argument here. But today's women still are saying they're being abused. Their solution is that since we're going to be abused anyway, we might as well dress like hookers, okay? All right, so listen. Hey, listen, I'm only here to communicate what they're trying to say. Hey, you know what? We're going to lose anyway. We might as well get what we want out of it. The little bit that we're going to get out of it, the little bit of ability to express ourselves, the little bit of ability to make money for selling pussy on the internet and get attention from men and celebrities, the little bit of ability for us to level up in this conversation, we might as well go on and take it, because back then these women got they got no benefit from being good women. Okay, might as well. They was getting abused back then too. We getting abused today. We got all this trauma. We need all this therapy. All right, I'm a victim. Might as well dress like hookers. Might as well. All right, so that's what I read from that. All right, so these women dress classy and got no benefit. We're getting no benefit. Might as well dress like a Jezebel. All right. All right, sorry for hitting the buzzer. But this is, again, they're saying the disconnect right here. There's a disconnect between the boomers and Gen Z. There's a misunderstanding of fashion trends. I don't think so. Okay, they've always kind of pushed women to dress more scantily clad and benefit from it. Okay, so, women of that generation certainly had the ability to choose that. However, they would have been penalized. So that's why the boomers and Gen Xers initially didn't choose that. Let me just take you back. There were groups that got attention for doing this exact same thing in the 80s. We had the Mary Jane Girls. We had Vanity 6. We had Apollonia. All right, let me pull up. I don't know if I can pull this up on YouTube. Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull this album cover up. This will bring some people back. This will bring some people back here. I don't know if I can pull it up on YouTube, though. Where's that Vanity cover? That Vanity 6 album cover where she was in that white fucking lingerie draws. All right, let's see here. Oh my goodness, is this Apollonia 6? Jesus. All right, this is taking us back. Macaroni Tony, you probably going ham. And whoever this chocolatey thing is over here in this white shit, holy mackerel.
Oh, the humanity.
All right, so this was the 1980s. This was when Claire Huxtable was being Claire Huxtable. All right, yikes. Shish.
Oh, the humanity.
I'm telling you, whoever this Puerto Rican chick is, or whoever this shit is, and this blue shit, and that white shit right there. Hold on. Let me put my head out of the way right there. Holy.
Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity.
Oh, my.
Oh, the humanity.
All right. Anyway. All right. Anyway. That's a group called Apollonia Vanity 6. All right. And they were a group of Prince. All right. So they were one of Prince's bands that he used to push his music through, right? So The Time was another one of these groups, and he pushed his music. Alexander O'Neal, a lot of these people benefited from his music being basically people who basically was able to use some of his music that he didn't use. So let me just say this. There were people out there, women out there doing this in the 80s. It was just a choice that they had to make, all right? It was a choice. It was like, okay, you're going to go that way, but then this is the life you're going to get, as opposed to, I can't afford to take that chance. Now I'll never marry and have kids, which women were more dependent on marriage and kids as a means of survival. Today, women are under the illusion that they don't need marriage and kids, or at least one or the other, as a means of survival. Now that is an illusion because they're going to need some benefit. Okay. They're going to have somebody, a stepdaddy, somebody to accept raising their kids as they get older from another man, government. They do have this illusion that they don't need it. So they go along being Apollonia 6, and then they want to trade in their hoe card after a while. Okay, so then more women take this route and less women take the Claire Huxtable route. They'll all go through this, let me try this, and then when it doesn't work, they'll pivot back 35 years old and say, I'm one of the good ones. This is where the disconnect is. So they're saying she doesn't understand current fashion. I disagree. During Claire's time, those fashions existed. Those things, being a whore and dressing scantily clad, was certainly an option. It wasn't a great option. It didn't get you very far. It got you a whole bunch of cocaine at Club 52. Okay, it got you turned out, and it got your ass basically kicked to the curb, right? And ran through and used and abused. That's where it got you. Okay, it didn't get you riches. It didn't get you Instagram. It didn't get you anything. Whereas today, it gets her something at least up front, and then she can play the victim on the other side. I think I disagree with the comment that she doesn't understand fashion and current trends. Those trends have always existed. Today, women can choose to do that later on and then try to play the victim as to why men won't accept them. This is just my opinion on it. Let me continue a little bit further. Keke Palmer calls Cosby Show's Claire Huxtable uppity. You can see this here. Keke Palmer, she represents kind of the new fandangle woman here, of the new modern woman. I actually had a picture of her on the thumbnail. She was the one kind of exposing on herself on the thumbnail here. And this is what Keke Palmer had to say about Claire Huxtable. This is in 2023. She says, Keke Palmer calls the Cosby Show character Claire Huxtable uppity. She got on my nerves. Okay, so this is where the pivot point is. This is not men's responsibility. This is why I always tell you, Gentlemen, we can have all the conversations we want about where modern women are going and what we need to do to help them and help the black community. It's done. It's cooked. The prevailing character of the black community is the strag. That is going to be the one. You're not going to overcome that with any shame, any propping up of any characters like Claire Huxtable, any women from the past. The strag, the low-class strag, is the prevailing character and characteristics that these women will follow, not women of grace and elegance or whatnot. Those women will get rarely rewarded. And even if they choose this from the inception of their teenage years into their 30s, which most won't, they will elevate and propagate the strag. All right, so the strag is Keke Palmer. Look at her relationships. Look at who she picked for a man. She picked a half a man. Okay, she picked a light-skinned, good hair nigga to produce with who supposedly womped on her ass. But she gets on her nerves. Okay, so it's finished. I know you think Kevin Samuels is going to help and I'm going to help. I don't want no helping the community or relationships in general. It's all cooked to me. It's all cooked. All right, but anyway, good luck out here. She basically says right here on an appearance with the Terrell Show, a game show that airs on YouTube, she jokingly admitted that she didn't like Claire Huxtable. She got on my nerves sometimes because I'm like Claire, keep it real, sister girl. Huh? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. She was uppity, y'all. Bottom line, she says right here, oh, really, girl, stop. I'm not sure what she's saying right here. She got on my nerves sometimes because I'm like Claire, keep it real, sister girl. All right, so there you go right there. That was her joke. This also, to wrap this up, this also goes into the Monique conversation here, where unfortunately Claire Huxtable had to tiptoe around the conversation with women on how they're appearing out here. This is a little bit of a generational thing because today we're a lot more laxed on how we present ourselves, whether man or woman. Today, I think men and women dress like slobs, and me included on this. We're very much more lazy in how we appear. Although we're less conforming, so you do have to pick your battles. We're able to express ourselves and express how we feel about ourselves and things about us. You can express your sexuality on how you dress. People think that you can't, but you take gay men. Take gay men. Gay men back in the day had to dress in a fucking hat and a zoot suit back in the day. Right? Am I not wrong? Okay. There was a lot of politicians and actors and movie stars that dressed just like the masculine men back in the day. They had to put on their wingtips and they motherfucking baggy slacks like Ricky Ricardo, but they was running around here like Cary Grant, and they was running around here touching on motherfucking boys behind the scenes because people could not express themselves in their sexuality. Today, a guy could come out here and put fucking, you know what I mean? He could put fucking dye in his fucking highlights in his hair, and he could come out here, sashay and Shantae. That's an example of expressing themselves by the way they dress in their sexuality. We could do this, but it also, since we can do this, it also makes us more lazy in our dress. And I think there's probably going to be a revolution as to now people then going back to saying, hey, we should dress a little bit more appropriately and have a little bit more conformity because it's gotten out of control, right? It's gotten out of control. People are a lot more lax. Women are not more lax. People are wearing pajamas at the airport. They're wearing slippers as shoes. We're all guilty of this, even myself. Right? We're wearing shoes where we step on the back heel. They're old shoes. We just throw them on and we go to the grocery store. Okay? We're wearing basketball shorts everywhere. Not even playing basketball. We're not even wearing basketball. But there was a generation, even when I was a young man, that men wore slacks, whether it was a work day or a weekend. Men would wear slacks on Saturday and Sunday. Okay? You remember old guys? I don't know if you want to have this conversation. Old dudes for us, you know, men in our 40s and 50s. When we were kids, men were still in slacks. I don't care if they worked in blue collar jobs or not. Men were in slacks and church socks and shit. Feet just stankin'. Okay, when they was on Sunday, they dressed up Sunday's best, even if they went to church. Feet just stankin' and they stank in their church socks. They're wearing leather shoes. Back in the day, I know, guys, leather shoes were a sign that you had some class, even if you were broke, even if you were poor. People had to get leather shoes. These were dress shoes. Now, sneakers only became popular to wear as fashion in the 90s. Started in the late 80s, started in the mid 80s but that was a small group of people, mostly beboppers and hip hoppers. It didn't become a fashion sense really until the 90s, okay, where it became acceptable to wear sneakers in public on a daily basis. Now we wear sneakers or sneaker-looking shoes with suits today, and that was more like 2010, maybe really 2020, going into COVID, where you would wear a suit with sneaker-looking shoes. But sneakers have been around since the 70s. They just didn't become a fashion tool until the 90s. Shoes before that were more centered around leather shoes and these type of things, dress shoes and shoes related to these type of things. All right, so with that being said, we have seen people become more lazy, lethargic, more recreational, active wear, which then pushes us to be lazier in how we prepare ourselves to go outside. You now see people wearing rollers and bonnets and wave caps and basketball shorts. Even now we're seeing the underwear that people are wearing, so your clothes are hanging off of you. You don't have a belt as a fashion sense when now you would match your belt with your shoes. Now we're not even close to even having a belt. This has allowed people to present themselves in even classier elements, lethargic and lazy, where women will be braless, titties out in a tank top, wearing sweats and then slippers to the airport, right? Bonnets to the airport. Niggas wearing wave caps in public. I know you guys don't like when I call you out on that, but niggas wearing wave caps in public to me is out of control, right? That's almost as worse as the bonnet. Okay, so I know you're going to disagree with me, but fuck y'all. You're wearing a wave cap in public. It's disgraceful. All right, it is absolutely disgraceful. Nigga, do something with your hair beforehand. It's just lazy. It tells me that you're lazy. It just tells me that you're lazy. You just didn't make an effort. And I've been in these situations. I didn't make an effort too. I've been caught out here not making an effort. But then you're wearing pajamas in public. You know, it's really getting bad out here. You used to get dressed for a purpose to go certain places. So we criticize the women for doing this, but we certainly are culpable in this. But let me show you this here. All right. Wave cap and bonnet is the same thing. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Let me see here. Then we'll get out of here. All right, here we go right here. Is this the... All right, let me show you this here. I mean, this is a tough conversation. I can't tell you that we should dress a certain way. But this is a photo of a segregated baseball game, Oak Cliff, the Dallas Black Giants. This is a Negro League baseball game. And this is crazy, man. I'm going to tell you, man, the weather had to be super duper hot. This had to be the summer or the spring. You know, it was musty as hell, and women's punanis was out here stanking. Okay. Ninjas was out here smelling like Old Spice and musty armpits. But this is a baseball game, spring, summer, outdoors. This had to be 1940s or 1950s. And, you know, at the time, certainly this was not dressing for comfort at all. I don't see the women out here wearing bonnets and this type of thing. You do have to say that there has to be some sort of psyops to make people think that they're dressing for comfort. But I think it's the opposite. You're dressing to be stereotyped. Dressing to be stereotyped. But this is them enjoying a baseball game, which we take for granted, right? We take for granted that these things are luxury items, or they consider things that you should go, hey, we're here. We should present ourselves as best as we possibly can. We're at an airline. We're at an airport. An airport used to be a sign of, hey, we made it. We're doing something that we should be proud of, and we paid a major expense to be here. Well, not with Spirit and Southwest. You paid a cheap ticket, and you're going to dress like it. Okay? Sometimes with your daughters, all right? Your daughters as Gen Zs, because they walk around here like depressed, and they walk around here all stressed out and on head meds. These bitches running around here like they're Linus or Pigpen from the fucking Charlie Brown. Okay? You guys know who I'm talking about. If you have adolescent young boys and girls, here we go right here. Who got the goddamn blanket? Is it Pigpen? Yeah, this is how your daughters and sons are walking around now. All right? Like these motherfuckers in Pigpen. All right, with their security blanket and the security bunny and motherfuckers walking around, no shower and shit. This is how your adolescent Gen Z and Gen Alpha are walking around right now. Okay? And all because you're thinking that they're going to slice their wrists. All right? Oh, they're going to hurt themselves. Man, get the fuck out of here. All right? Tell them to dress the fuck up or ship up and go, send their ass to the military. Send their ass to the motherfucking military. Fuck these kids. Fuck you, punk ass kids. All right, these kids like, oh, they're going to hurt themselves. They're going through anxiety and trauma and stress. Fuck you. All right, you're going to the fucking military camp. Fuck out of here, punk ass kid. You ain't did shit all day. Fuck you. All right, you ain't going to make me stop putting pressure on you because you don't want to hear shit and don't want to hear me tell you what the fuck you going to do. Get the fuck to military school. All right, fuck out of here. All right, but they're depressed. Fuck your depression. I'm going to give you a depression in your goddamn head if you don't get up and get the fuck out of here. All right, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. But that's what happens. Now they're an adult. Now they're 25, but you still consider them a child. And then now you don't want to put pressure on them because they going to slit their fucking wrist. Have they slit their wrist yet? No, they haven't done shit yet. All right, so fuck out of here. Right? Fuck out of here. That bullshit. Get up, get dressed, or get the fuck out and support yourself. That's what you're going to do. That's what the fuck you're going to do. You're going to get the fuck up out of my house with this bullshit. Well, they're going through a tough life. They ain't going through shit. All right? Just wait till they be out there supporting themselves. They're going to go through a tough life out here like a motherfucker. Life going to give them a ham knuckle sandwich. Right? Okay? Life gonna give them a knuckle fucking sandwich soon as they up under me. All right. You think I'm hard on the kids now? Wait till life get a hold of their ass. They gonna put their ass in a goddamn sleeper hole. But here it is right here. This is and by the way, most of these people in the audience are in their 20s, 30s, maybe their 40s. Consider that. These are not 50, 60, and 70-year-old people. Most people in this audience are 20, 30, and 40. And this is how the dress was for that day. That was the expectation. And if you came in there with less than that, you probably face ridicule. So think how far we've gotten from even this in the 40s and 50s to where we have it today in the 20s, the 2020s going into the 2030s. To see how far we've fallen off. But again, some people figure that maybe more expressively dressing yourself is better. Less conformity, and so forth and so on. Like it was an expectation that you wore a hat. And you wore a hat that represented you. That was kind of an expression as well. So anyway, if you enjoyed this clip, check me out on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel for the best morning live stream every weekday. And of course, we're back for the evening live streams as well. Check out the times in the featured channels on this channel right here. And also the links are in the description box. I will see you there.
New world order.